Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A Video, the official Q&A video series of NoDQ.com. Thanks as always for watching. The road to WrestleMania is in full gear now. We are coming off Monday Night Raw, a very memorable episode of Raw featuring an excellent John Cena versus CM Punk pay-per-view quality match. John Cena is now officially the #1 contender for WrestleMania. Well, he was before, but now it is official, Rock versus Cena 2 at WrestleMania. We also saw the return of Triple H, and the rematch between him and Brock Lesnar is starting to build up now. Got a lot of questions here regarding Raw, so let's get right down to it. This first one comes from Nigel Cove 752. Hey Aaron, in your opinion, is the PG era coming to an end? I know it's not much evidence, but Brock Lesnar was busted open and Triple H said ass. I may have posted this 2 times, I don't know. No, the PG era is not ending. I got a lot of questions about this and the blood from Raw. What happened was Brock Lesnar was thrown into the ring post and the side of his head hit one of those little tiny screws that are on the ring post, and that's what busted him open. And if you noticed, WWE was trying really hard, the production team was trying really hard not to show the blood. They were cutting away as much as possible. And in fact, when Brock Lesnar was walking his way back towards the ramp, instead of the usual camera angle where you have the cameraman facing the wrestler and the ramp is to the left, if you noticed, he was on the opposite side. So the ramp was to the right side, so you would purposely not see Brock Lesnar's head where all the blood was coming out. So WWE is not ending the PG era. If somebody gets busted open, they'll just go with it. And sometimes in the matches they'll have the guys come out and try to cover up the stitches or whatever. But in this case, they just let it go and just tried to downplay the blood as much as possible. And then as far as Triple H saying ass, you know what? They've been saying ass on Raw for years. Just because WWE's PG. PG means parental guidance. So it means that there might be a little bit of questionable content, and parents should just know that there might be something that is a little bit inappropriate. So every once in a while, they're going to throw out an ass, they're going to throw out a bitch. They'll have a little bit of profanity, but there's not going to be a lot of that stuff. So no, PG era not ending, and you just have to keep in mind that things will happen from time to time, and just because it's PG doesn't mean that it's G, that they're not going to do anything from time to time. Alright, this one comes from Drizzle44. Do you think Cena going over Punk clean was the best idea? Why didn't WWE have it look like Punk was going to win and then have Undertaker come out distracting Punk and helping Cena win? That way it protects Punk more and easily sets up the Taker-Punk storyline. I actually liked what they did on Raw. I liked the fact that they did a clean finish and they made this #1 contenders match such a huge deal. You even had the ring introductions at the beginning, which they only usually do for title matches, but they did it here for a #1 contenders match, and they let Cena and Punk go out there. They had around a 25-minute match, and it made the WWE title and main eventing WrestleMania seem so important. So, if Undertaker came out, that would have been predictable, and the typical WWE finish where there's some sort of outside interference. And they could have done a double pin or something like that. But the way they did it, a clean finish, I really liked it. I loved the finish for that match. I think it was really well done. And you know what? CM Punk gave it a great fight. So I don't think it made him look weak. He kicked out of the attitude adjustment. Cena hit it, went right to the pin, and Punk kicked out. So it was a very back and forth match. And I don't really think that it hurt Punk at all. This one comes from Seoger. As WrestleMania approaches, Undertaker still has not returned. In my opinion, every Monday he does not return. The chances of him actually returning becomes slimmer and slimmer. What is your opinion on the matter? I did mention that a few weeks ago, that the longer period that goes where he doesn't appear, the less likely that he's appearing at WrestleMania. But here's the thing. Yes, Undertaker was not on Raw this week, and this was just 2 days after he made his surprise return at a WWE house show, and a lot of people were expecting him to be at Raw, and he wasn't. So what does this mean? Is Undertaker not going to be at WrestleMania? My opinion is that if Undertaker wasn't doing WrestleMania, they would not have mentioned him returning on Raw. The fact that they showed that tout video, and then Lawler said, it's this time of year where the rumors start about Undertaker WrestleMania, they wouldn't have mentioned this if Undertaker wasn't committed to WrestleMania at this point. So I think we will see Undertaker probably next week. But you know what? I'm not going to make any promises here because every week I say Undertaker's going to return. He doesn't. But I think that Monday would be a good time to bring him back. The thing about this week's Raw was it was already stacked enough. You had the big CM Punk versus John Cena match, and you had Triple H returning. So really, you didn't need to bring back The Undertaker. You could save The Undertaker for one more week and make next week's Raw something special. And by the way, next week's Raw should be a really good show. They're going to be doing another old school Raw, and the first old school Raw was a great show. That was one of the best Raws of 2010. So I'm looking forward to old school Raw this week, and that would be a good segue to bring back Undertaker since, you know, he's old school and all that. So that would be a good place to bring him back, have CM Punk come out, be really frustrated, and then you could bring out Undertaker and set up the match for WrestleMania. All right, the last one today comes from Little Dizzle 4000. Hey Aaron, I'm a big fan of the show. Will this year's Hall of Fame class for this year's Hall of Fame class, do you think Mick Foley will be overshadowed with his classmates of Trump, Stratus, Bruno, and Backlund? I don't think so. I think that Mick Foley will do just fine. You know what? Mick Foley is one of the biggest stars of the modern era, the Attitude Era. The fans will probably be familiar with him more than, you know, Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund. The people that are going to be at the Hall of Fame ceremony, the fans, they're going to be guys that grew up on Mick Foley, not Bruno Sammartino. So Mick Foley will probably get the biggest reaction, I'm thinking. I don't think that he'll be overshadowed by those guys. And Mick Foley certainly had, you know, one of the biggest stars in WWE history. And because he was a big star during the Attitude Era, a lot more people will recognize him than a Bruno Sammartino at this point. So I don't see that as being an issue at all. And as far as Trump goes, you know, I'll be surprised if he gets a lot of cheers. If they don't boo him, I'll be a little bit surprised, just because I know how wrestling fans are. And well, I mean, we'll see though. You know, it's New York, so maybe they'll cheer for him. But I think Foley will be over. You know, he will be seen as a god by those fans in Madison Square Garden. And you know, so will Trish and Bruno. I mean, it is a really good lineup this year for the Hall of Fame, no doubt about it. Alright, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching, as I mentioned before. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQ&AV. Keep spreading the word about No DQ&A video on Facebook and Twitter. And I'll see you next time for more No DQ&A video.